Yes, sir. No, it's out of the way. It's not.
Is he recording?
It's gonna stop.
All right, Brandon, go ahead.
Alrighty, so right here we have a picture of Champlin Police Department. I always mention my brother, and I always feel like when I mention my brother as a cop, and then everybody sees him, whether I tell another cop or I show you guys as a group, I'm like, my brother's a cop. Everybody's looking in the picture like, where is there a cop of some type of color in here? There isn't. I'm mixed. My mom is white. We have different dads, so technically he's my step brother. I don't believe in it. We're brothers. We grew up together since we could walk and talk. He's been there from day one. He is my brother. My brother is the guy in the middle here, works for Champlin Police Department. My thing is a little bit different because I actually did DUI enforcement. So it's a little bit different than regular patrol. I went with my brother to DUI enforcement, which was in another city. So just to fill you in on Champlin Police Department, the Champlin Police Department has 25 sworn officers that are on 24 hours service for the community. Civilian support staff, 4 full-time employees, 12 volunteer reserve officers. Champlin is dispatched from Golden Valley, and they are located at 11955 Champlin Drive in the Champlin Safety Building, right on 169 in Champlin there.
Sorry, buddy.
No problem. So next, my brother, his badge number for Champlin Police Department is 140. This is just him at a training. I don't know if it's actual police training or one of his SWAT trainings. My brother has been employed with Champlin Police Department for at least 14 years. I remember going to his graduation day. He graduated with an associate's degree. He was a couple credits short of having his bachelor's. Got through college, he was a campus cop. He worked for Beltrami. He went to Bemidji State, so he worked for Beltrami Sheriff's Department. He took people from jails up there down to the jails in the cities for court dates, stuff like that. He eventually got hired for Champlin Police Department at the age of 23. He's had an opportunity to work drug task force for 4 years. I thought that was awesome, and part of this, me saying this, is just the opportunity to grow in law enforcement. I kind of knew because this is my brother, he's been here the whole time, but as it progresses and time progresses, I'm just seeing more and more progressions and opportunities to grow. So like I said, he spent 5 years in the drug task force. It was cool. They sent him off with his own Trailblazer, unmarked, ID that looked legit, fake name, fake address, Honda Civic even, automatic guns in the back. He works for the U of M Police Department, so basically he's in uniform. He does have his gun. He works for football games, basketball games. Usually police aren't there. Football games are a big thing. He's also an active SWAT member. He's been active in SWAT for the last 3 years. He actually just got back a couple of days ago from Las Vegas. They had a SWAT training. Who knows if that's really what they're doing down there. But he had a good time. So that's my brother. That's who I rode with. So after meeting my brother at Champlin at 6:30, he said, we have roll call. We have to make it to Minnetonka. So we are doing DUI enforcement in Minnetonka. And how that works is DUI enforcement, every police station has an opportunity. This is something I learned about. Has an opportunity to fill out for a grant. So different counties or cities will have it open for a grant to come in and do DUI enforcement. So the police station applies, get approved, accepted, send their officers out. Their officers get paid for whether it's overtime, they get reimbursed for their mileage for their cars. Technically not the officers, but the police station, the police department that they're sent from does. So in briefing, I thought it was pretty cool because it's not like regular patrol. Like I said, we went from Champlin, being Champlin police officers, to going to Minnetonka and working with numerous police departments, which there was Minneapolis Police there, Edina, Plymouth, of course us in Champlin. We even had Minnesota State Patrol, Eden Prairie, and Minnetonka Police there. And I'd say there was 1 to 3 officers from every precinct. And I kind of thought that was cool that everybody came in together, not only because it's a grant, but we're all working as one force for DUI enforcement. And I thought that was real cool, and it was a good way to actually meet other officers that, like Dan always said, it's not always about what you know, it's about who you know. And this was an opportunity for me to get to meet and talk to other officers from different departments that I thought was really cool. Next, we were on the road. But before we got on the road, I'll admit, my brother said, "Do you want anything from Caribou?" I said, "Sure, I'll take a frappe." We got through there, he pulls his credit card out, and she says, "No, you guys are good to go. That was the EMS in front of you." I just looked at him, we smiled at each other. Off to the roads for traffic enforcement. Started with the radar guns. Just like we stated last week, we started to get into Minnesota Towards Zero Deaths. So basically, Minnesota Towards Zero Deaths was started in 2001 by North Star Workshop. In 2003, it actually became known and used statewide. And Minnesota Towards Zero Deaths was it was an effort for the law enforcement to get out on the streets. A lot of it was highways and stop fatal accidents, crashes, just people speeding, not abiding by the law. And it was a big force to go out there and, cut down on this. And it actually research showed that in times where they were out for DUI enforcement and to make these traffic laws be more enforced, it was proven that at least 40% of crime did go down in traffic violation laws while this was being done. Another thing I wanted to point out that I also learned while we're doing the radar, my brother says, he's doing the radar a couple times, and next thing you know, he just throws the gun at me and he's taking off. And I said, "Well, what's going on? What's going on?" He said, "We got a speeder, And next thing you know, after we do our Minnetonka area for a while, and we are on high visibility. So high visibility is you're driving down the highway and right above you, you see that sign, "Attention, DUI enforcement is out right now." They're letting you know we're out. High visibility was when we went to Minnetonka for our briefing and our roll call, the chief said, or the sergeant that was there, "Okay guys, here goes the area we're gonna work in." It was an area specifically in Plymouth and Minnetonka. We were on 100, 494, and we basically were in a boxed-in area with about 12 officers in about a 4-mile range. So it's high visibility. People were driving down the road, even if you weren't getting pulled over, you seen that cop there, and there's a cop on the other side of the highway, and down here, we're out there. We're out there to let you know we're stopping people. So it's gonna make you think when you see that cop and you see that cop, okay, they're out here, I better watch my driving. The reason why I put a picture of the radar detectors is another thing I wanted to add that I didn't know before. My brother actually gave me the opportunity to run the radar detector myself. I thought that they could be very accurate at times, but we worked a 7 until 2 o'clock in the morning shift. So at 8:30, 9 o'clock, when them lights are down and you're in a pitch black ditch and you've got police coming or oncoming traffic and there's 3 cars in a lane, you gotta get that radar and you gotta make sure you get that radar on the right car, because what happens if you get the wrong car and you got this guy doing 75 and he's over here 60, you're not sure who you radar, then what do I tell my brother when we pull up? "Oh, there was one speeding." Well, which one is it? I think it was that one. That's not gonna work. Radar detectors, I thought, they're pretty precise. Aim, pull, point at the car, boom, see their speed. Next car, see their speed. Another thing that I learned though too that I kind of thought was interesting, I put this picture here of the inside of the car. Right here is basically the cop's radar detector is telling what his speed is and what the speed of what their radar is running. Now, From what I was told is the radar detector can point in different directions, but only at one time. So you can have your radar detector while you're driving forward, and you can shoot whoever is in front of you and get their speed, or you can change your radar detector to face this way, so you got traffic coming on the opposite side, or you can switch it to the back, but you can't run all at once. So one thing that I realized when we were on a stop was that we were, it was about 11 o'clock at night, there's a turn lane, slow street, oncoming traffic on the other street was minimal, and we're radar detecting, but we're shooting our radar from the side, so we're watching cars as they pass by us, and I'm getting their license plate, he's punching them in, and as cars come towards us, he's radar detecting them. Now the speed limit's posted at 30. We get a group of 3 cars coming right at us, but they were in a group of 3 cars, 2 cars together, 1 behind. We shot the radar detector at them, 50 miles an hour in a 30. We were stuck. I said, they're speeding, aren't they? Yeah. I said, well, what are we gonna do? We can't tell which one it is. You know, so I thought that was kind of, I don't know if you wanna say a flaw or something that made me think, okay, well, how accurate are these radar detectors, and how often are they getting them on us? So yeah, we did a couple stops, didn't catch anybody drunk. This was just a 10-second thing. This guy pulled next to a partner of my brother's and decided to rev his engine while we're on DUI enforcement. They're on a traffic stop about a mile away. He revs his engine, burns his tires out. We get a call, hey, there's a guy going down 169 in a Mustang. He's acting a fool, stop him for whatever you can. Well, we just happen to be pulling out a 169, and sure enough, there goes that gray Mustang. So we pulled him over, we got alongside him. I said, you gonna pull him over? He said, we have to find a reason first. So the guy ended up having no license plate lights. Long story short, my brother got up to him and said, hey, what's your problem? Are you trying to cause our attention? Because my officers back here just said, you're revving your engine like you have a problem. What's your problem? And the guy is dumbfounded. Of course, he wanted our attention, but not until we got behind him. My brother ended up writing him a ticket for license plate lights. Said, come back, bring the ticket back to the police station, 7 days, and it'll be taken care of. So it's kind of a humiliation thing. You want our attention, you got it. Deal with it. So basically, after every stop was the ROAR, real officer activity report. I noticed my brother filled that out after every time we stopped anybody, and I did notice after class it is different than an incident report. The real officer activity report is just basically stating, hey, my brother stopped this vehicle for doing this speed. They were 6 miles an hour over. He checked their license. He wrote the vehicle, what the make of it was, what he did. He gave them a warning, put it into the computer, done. Lastly, big thing is, we probably stopped 12 people that night. Out of the 12 people we stopped, 5 were driving after suspension at least. 1 went to jail. 1 got their opportunity to park their car and walk away. The other ones just got tickets, did not get impounded. But from 2010 to 2014, police arrested 45,147 individuals once, and 8,716 people were arrested twice for a range of offenses, including driver's license infraction. 15 people were also arrested more than 51 times in the past 5 years. So there's a lot of people out there driving without driver's license. So mainly, my conclusion. I have worked with California police. If you cannot tell, this is on Hollywood Boulevard. I've worked with Bloomington police. I've worked with Santa Monica police. I've worked with the State Patrol. I've worked with a lot of different police departments. I've never done DUI enforcement, but I have done patrol. I thought DUI enforcement would be something different to report on. It'd be something that caught my attention. And it was just something different to explain on. The radar detectors were one big thing I picked up on. Putting in the actual reports. And then I noticed not only that, when you're out on the road, I thought all the time when the police stop somebody that they have to get on that radio and say, hey, I'm stopped with this person, this and that. Well, at least on DUI enforcement, it wasn't like that. You make the stop, you call it in every once in a while, just like the chief told us in briefing. We have a different dispatch, at least use it 1 or 2 times tonight. Through the grant, you're required to make 8 stops that night. We made 12, so through that grant, 8 stops, you get funded. Part of the funding is through the Department of Motor Vehicles along with something else. Just 2013 was the 10-year anniversary of it, of Minnesota Towards Zero Deaths, and they actually have meetings every couple months. Other than that, I mean, I learned a lot about putting in computers, how often people actually get let go, their chances of getting a ticket and results, and just how quick you're actually able to check driver's license, stuff like that. Overall, I had a very good time, whether it was with my brother or any other time. I always have a good time on patrol. But that's how I felt about my ride along. Did anybody have any questions? Negative? All right. Okay.
What kind of squad did you guys ride around?
We were in Champlin, we were in the 2015 Chevy Caprice.
No, but when you were doing enforcement like Minnetonka, were you guys in Champlin squad?
We were in a Champlin squad. Yep, every unit brought their own police car. So Minneapolis had their Minneapolis cars. So when you're driving around Minneapolis, they even do it in Minneapolis. They do it in every city, you know. So sometimes you'll be in Minneapolis and you'll be like, whoa, that's an Eden Prairie cop in Brooklyn Park. They can't arrest anybody out here. Bullshit. They can. They're out there for a reason. Whether it's a meeting at a police precinct or it's DUI enforcement, they can stop you.
Was it marked or unmarked?
It was marked. It was marked, but we were in some nice places where you weren't gonna see us until you got right up on us anyway. Dan?
I have no questions, but I just want to clarify something. You referred to the radar detector. I think you're referring to, because we all know, maybe you don't, like people have radar detectors in cars.
Not radar detectors, I'm sorry.
You're talking about radar.
Radar, yes,
Yes.
the radar.
But I want to explain, there's 2 different types of radars, and he showed both. One was, the one that was on the dash, that would be called a Doppler radar. Essentially, there's a cone in the radar, and it sends out a signal, okay? And in order to stop someone for speed, the officer has to visually observe someone that appears to be going over the limit, okay? And then it's confirmed by the radar, all right? So there's tones involved. You visually estimate it.
That's my ladies.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, man.
I'm not ashamed of my ladies.
I'm thinking, it's really not that funny. I'm not trying to make a joke, but that's all right. That's how that works. Now, laser radar, that's what the guy was holding, okay? That's like taking candy from a baby, all right? Because really, it sends out a laser beam, and it bounces back. It's a point and shoot. You can pick out any car you want, that type of thing. So they're both very accurate once you're trained in how to use them and know what to look for. A laser radar is, like I said, it's very, very easy.
And what do you think about the, like I said, how we were sitting in the turning lane with oncoming traffic and a group of cars coming?
Again,
We hit them with that boom and, you know.
You
it's
went
such
with
a
the
group of
Doppler
cars.
radar, right? Yeah, that's where you're looking for tone. The higher vehicle, the faster vehicle's going, the higher the tone's gonna be. But the first thing, whether it's laser or Doppler, conventional radar, you have to make an estimated guess
Guess of which,
as an officer about what their speed is. So that's your first visual cue, and then it's confirmed by the radar. So it is more challenging. That's why laser radar way better.
yeah, that's what I learned when I was in there. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd rather take the laser over the cars any day.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Any other questions? All right.
Cool.
Go ahead, young lady, come through.
Forewarning, mine is not that good.
Well, my brother told me, he said, if you go in the beginning, you're either gonna make everybody look good or everybody work hard.